that the crimson horse year and the blood goat years don't have to be years of fear. If you align with the energies, navigate these 2 years with the flow and balance, these 2 years can be years of courage, awakening and transformation. I have already been doing this for the last 2 decades when we went into period 8, and I've been utilizing this particular format to help myself get through all the various different cycles as well as my clients. And that's one of the reasons why I have decided to launch a 3-year transformation program called Ignite, Align and Thrive for helping yourself go through this particular journey to maximize your potential to have good health mentally, physically, and from an emotional perspective as well. This particular program, I'll be utilizing your unique Bazi chart and creating a blueprint so that it will help you align and have a roadmap to how you can navigate the next 20 years with specific focus for 2026, 2027, and 2028. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Janet Yong, and in my channel I share about Feng Shui, Bazi, entrepreneurship as well as personal growth, especially in the areas of motivation, success and communication. Today, I will begin the 2026 Animal Horoscope Forecast series, and welcome if you are a new subscriber. Thank you if you have been subscribing and listening to my channel. If you have been following me for the last few years where I talked about 2026 Animal Horoscope Forecast series, you will know that for today, it will be a summary of which animal will win the race in 2026. So without further ado, let's move on to the next segment where I'll share more. Hi, welcome to this segment where I'll share with you in more details 2026 forecast series for the 12th animal horoscope. Now you'll notice that I will put here 2026, the year of the young fire horse, is a year to ignite your innate potential. So be it you are in the best group, medium group or the group to build, so long as you understand what the year's influences are for you, you can basically ignite the potential, because this 2026 is the year where all of us will be able to ignite our potential because of the very strong fire element. Now, when we talk about the 12th animal horoscope, I would like you to basically first go and download your Bazi chart. Why is this the case? Because a lot of times when we look at the animal horoscope, a lot of people will be looking at only the year of birth for their chart. So either scan this QR code or go to bazicalculator.janetyong.com to get your Bazi chart itself. So exactly how many horoscopes can we have in our Bazi chart? As you can see in this Bazi chart itself, you have the year, the month, the day and the hour. Now if you have been following me on my channel and you are very familiar with Bazi, how to look for the different animal horoscope signs in your chart, you can go straight to the next segment, which I will indicate in the timestamp in the video description itself. So as you can see, for those who are new, if you only look at your year animal of growth, you are only looking at 12.5% of your chart. So what is it exactly when you look at the different horoscopes, and what does it represent for you? So for the year pillar itself, the animal horoscope that is within, usually at work, it will represent our bigger company environment, our industry environment. Even if you are in your own business, the year would represent probably your industry environment. At home, it actually represents your grandparents. Then if we were to look at the month usually represents your career or your relationship either with your immediate superior, your mentors, and at home it will be your parents. If the animal branch appears within your day pillar, in this case it's the rooster, then it generally represents basically your relationship with your colleagues, your peers, your partner, and at home it will be your spouse or your siblings. And finally, the hour pillar or the animal branch within the hour pillar itself will represent basically your perception of your relationship with your subordinates, people younger than you, and at home it will be with your children. So when we look at a person's chart, to be complete, we should look at all these 4 animal horoscope signs. Therefore, it can be up to 4 different types of animals, but for some people it may be the same animal branch in either the year, the month, or any of them depending on the date, month, year, and time they are born. The other thing that is crucial for period 9 as well as on an annual basis to understand the influence in your chart is really also to look at the day master, means the day that you are born, because it defines, number 1, if you are trying to understand yourself, your own characteristics. And if you would like to find out more about that, you can basically click on this link where I share a lot about it in my Asian personality profiling series itself. However, if you are looking at on an annual basis for period 9, I have already shared that particular video series last year, and you can click on this link to find out as well. Now, why am I stressing a little bit about this in 2026? Is because of the fire element in 2026 that is crucial, and it affects all the self elements. Why? Because fire is an element that can influence all elements. Fire can melt metal. In this case, is the yin metal rooster. So fire can melt metal, fire can burn wood, fire can basically cook food, which is the earth element. Fire can also boil water if you are born on the day of water element. And fire with fire will create extreme heat, which I'll explain a little bit more when I talk about 2026 Bazi Chart itself. Now, if we look at purely just the Sensha stars, what are the animal horoscopes that will do extremely well this year? So those who win the race, congratulations. If you have the ox within your chart, the ox is number 1 this year, and I'll show you the reason why a little later on. So the ox, the rabbit, the rooster, the goat, and the dragon will have an excellent year this year. You will have the stars aiding you, and therefore if you are willing to put in the effort and build the skill sets, definitely the stars will aid you because everything is aligned for you. Now, the next average group is those born with the dog, the horse, the pig, and the monkey. Does not mean things will not do well because it's only one animal branch that you're looking at. You have 4 animal branches plus also your day master that you should be looking at in terms of how well your year will pan out, whether you should be putting in the effort or things are more aligned for you and it will be more smooth sailing. Then those with the snake, the tiger, and the rat will generally have to basically build foundation for this year. If I look at it from a Shensha star perspective. Now, let's take a look at the reason why. You can see from these particular chart, the reason why the rat, the tiger, and the snake this year is ranked in build foundation is because there are no auspicious stars aiding them. And especially if you are born with the rat in your chart, the horse directly clashes with your rat branch. However, not everything is bad because this clash may actually bring about good changes for you as well. So if you want to find out a little bit more, do watch my forecast series that is coming up for each animal sign every week. Now, let's take a look at why ox is basically ranked number 1. Ox is ranked number 1 because as usual, when you have the Emperor star, you have the Dragon virtue, everything will be smooth sailing for you. However, it's also with the Emperor star great responsibility. As the saying goes, with great power comes with great responsibility. So you have to take that step forward in order to enjoy the good luck when the stars are aligning for you. Let's look at group forecast from a perspective of helpful people and all those before we boil down individually to the animal horoscope forecast next year. If we are looking at wealth and opportunities in the year 2026, those with the ox, the rabbit, and the horse will be great. Why? Because you would actually have got money related stars, opportunity related stars that are in your chart. And especially if it is within your month branch or your hour branch, having the ox, the rabbit, or the horse, it will be even greater. Now, if you were to look at career recognition and power, the animal branches that will have those would be if you have the ox, the dragon, the dog, and the horse within your chart. Now, if you want to understand a little bit more, do subscribe and basically follow up when I share each of the animal horoscope forecasts in detail, exactly where they are placed in your chart and how it will impact you. For helpful people, those again with the ox, the rabbit, the rooster, the horse, and the pig will have helpful people. But as I've said in many of my videos previously, when we talk about helpful people, it's not just the nice helpful people. Anyone who allows you to learn a lesson. So to you, they may appear as people who basically backstab you or people who did not help you, but so long as you learn a lesson, basically they are your helpful people, because all of us come to this world to learn various different lessons, and if we are aware and be willing to reflect, we will generally do much better and be able to maximize the stars, the luck that comes in on an annual basis or even in your 10-year luck pillar. Now those with communication, networking and travel luck, which are the animal horoscopes? Those with the tiger and the dog. Now why the tiger and the dog? Because 2026 is the year of the horse. The horse forms a combination with both the tiger and the dog. Generally, if you have the tiger or the dog, because of the combination, you will generally have pretty good communication. And then depending on where the tiger and the dog is within your chart, it's basically the different sets of people you have good communication or networking luck with. Whereas for the monkey has the traveling or sky horse star. So because of that, generally they will have the chance or the opportunity to travel overseas, basically because of the sky horse star. So if you have the monkey within your month, then congratulations, it will be basically travel luck based on your career. If it is other parts of your chart, then do follow up, because I'll explain a little bit more as to what it means when the monkey is within the different parts of your Bazi chart. The other two animal horoscopes that have got great communication and networking luck is basically the rooster and the rabbit, which I will share with you a little bit later on, basically because they have what we call the peach blossom stars within their chart. So therefore, when you talk to people, people will generally like to listen to you a lot. Then those with the academic and creativity star would be the ox and the dog. If you have the ox, you will have the intelligence star. So with the intelligence star itself, generally speaking, you'll be able to creatively solve problems. Whereas for the dog, you have what we call the Hua Gai or talent star. So you will generally be more creative, but the Hua Gai or talent star generally is a star that is more solitary. You need time to basically create the things that you like. You need time alone to be able to reflect and be comfortable. Love luck. Which are the two animal signs? Like I mentioned earlier on, you have the rabbit. So the rabbit has the sky happiness star. So whenever you have the sky happiness star, generally there will be many happy occasions for you. And for those where the timing is right, you may be even be taking the step forward to your next step in life with your partner. Or if you are looking for that special someone, do spend time in the love sector for 2026, which I will be sharing later on in this series when I talk about feng shui, auspicious sectors later on after the animal horoscope series itself. However, for the rabbit, besides the sky happiness star, you also have what we call the salty pool star. Now the salty pool star generally is perceived as one that is not so favorable, because you may end up in third-party relationships and all, if you are not careful or if you are not good at communicating or stating your position, because you may end up entangled in a mess. So it is crucial for those born with a rabbit for you to be aware of this. And it's not necessarily a bad star for a couple unless your communication and your relationship foundation is not right. But being aware of this, you will be good for you to take the necessary steps if you want to protect your relationship. Now, if you have the rooster in your chart, then again, congratulations, because you have the red matchmaker star. So relationships are generally good, and if you are ready, you can really take the next step forward in your relationship as well. And for those single rooster, spend time in the love sector, which I'll share a lot more later part in this particular series. So right now, we have completed the summary of the 2026 forecast for all the animal horoscopes. Let's dive and look a little closer to the 2026 Bazi chart itself. For 2026 Bazi chart, it's actually with pillars of young fire horse, the month of young metal tiger, the day of yin earth rooster, and the hour of young fire tiger itself. Now, if you were to notice, there are already two young fires within the chart. Can you imagine when the sun is up on planet Earth? If there are no clouds, because there's no yin water on top of the chart in the heavenly stamps, already one sun is already very hot. When you have two suns like that, what does it really mean? It means extreme heat, and when it's in the heavenly stamp, it means obvious behaviors that everyone can see. So now when we talk about fire, there are two extremes, right? One is passion, motivation. The other one is aggression and anger. So these two extremes will present a lot in everybody's environment, be it in the whole world, in your company environment, or your home environment. So it's crucial to temper that extreme passion or anger, especially when you're engaging in conversations with other people. Now, the other thing that is making this chart extremely hot are the combinations in the branches of the chart as well. So you can see that in the year of the horse and the month of the tiger, you already have a combination of fire. And then in the hour, it's also the tiger hour. So with the tiger and the fire in the year, there's another combination of fire. So generally speaking, it's not only the extreme heat and passion outside, but internally, if you are not able to channel the energies well and channel the flow well, there will be extremes in behavior, because a lot of times it's our thoughts that drive our emotions and our actions, correct? That's one. Two, when you have a lot of fire in the hidden stamps as shown in the tiger month and the hour of the tiger, generally it is also a year where we will need to be more careful of the natural disasters. So in this particular case, if you are planning travels, I think it is crucial that you plan your travels carefully to know where the misfortune 5 yellow star is for the world in 2026, which I'll share later on in the series. But if you know where the ring of fire is in the world, then those particular countries, you have to be more careful. Do take note and be kept updated if you decide to travel to those locations, because there could be extreme issues. With fire like this, of course, there may be other types of fire-related disasters as well. Now, when we look at the chart in 2026, what does the strongest fire element in the chart represent for the day master of Yin Earth? Basically, this is the analysis chart. There will be a lot of overthinking, maybe a lot of anger, and if someone is not good at expressing themselves or good at diverting these thoughts that may be too emotional or impatient or a lot of anxiety, then it can create problems for us in our chart, which I'll share a little later on how we can basically divert this. If you notice, there is absolutely no water element within the chart. Now, no water element, what does it mean for 2026? Water for a yin earth day stamp generally means wealth. So therefore, 2026 would be a year where it will not necessarily have wealth, especially when we look at Chinese New Year that is happening on the 17th and 18th of February, which generally means that it is a year without Lap Chun. No Lap Chun means no spring. In the olden days, when there's no spring, it generally means crops will not do well. It will also mean that maybe economy doesn't really do well. So it is then crucial for us to be mentally prepared to have the emergency funds if anything were to happen. The other thing about the water element for an earth day stamp, it's about action orientation. So what you're seeing in this chart is plenty of thinking, plenty of over analysis, but totally no action at all. So if that's the case, then there could be a lot of standstill in discussions. Even though you see the combinations, there will be alliances formed, but it may be just talk and thinking and research, but not necessarily any action being taken. It is then crucial from a human action perspective for it to flow properly when you think, producing the earth element, you must create the ideas, and since there is no water, be able to take action. And with a lot of the fire, it is definitely one year where you should ignite your passion, start that passion project that you have or that you have left on the shelf and had no time. If let's say you are not motivated, please do explore and experiment, because that will lead to a good channel of the flow of all the fire energy within 2026. In the chart, the next strongest element is that of the wood element. So what does wood element mean for a in-earth day master? For a wood element, it generally means it's recognition and power and authority. So this basically feeds on to the fire, because wood produces fire, right? The thoughts about wanting more power, wanting more presence, wanting more say will be feeding on to basically the fire, making and leading a lot of people to overthinking and then leading to extreme behaviors later on. So these are some of the key things we should be looking out for 2026. Now you may ask this question, yes, this is the entire world. How does it actually impact us individually? On an individual basis, if we were to look at this, these are the few key strategies that I would like to suggest. Since Lapchun, or the start of spring, actually starts on 4 February at 4:03 a.m. on 2026, and Chinese New Year only happens on the 17th of February, it will affect the entire economy, so things will likely slow down. Therefore, for us, especially with the influence of AI, technology in period 9 itself, it will be a good year to put all the resource related element of fire to building the necessary skill sets so that you don't get disrupted in the coming years. The next is, with this extreme fire, the overthinking leading to anger, impatience and frustration, it is crucial then for us to channel the energy to understand what the fire element influence on our individual day master is, so that we can ignite our passion, pick up the necessary skill sets and start that particular project that you have been putting off. The third one is, with no water, meaning no wealth, no cash, no action. Being aware of this is the number one most important thing. Then from a human thought and perspective, it is then crucial for us to be proactive, but not to rush or not to be impulsive. Even if you are very passionate about a project, do all the right preparation. If it's a financial decision, make sure that you do all the risk calculation before you sign on the dotted line. Now I've prepared a 3-part series on how you should be preparing for 2026, and we're still in November, there's still time. Anyway, Chinese New Year comes only in February, right? So do go to my YouTube channel, click on these 3 different videos and watch it, because it will help you. And for these 3 years, it is crucial for us to ignite, align and thrive. So I've basically launched your Period 9 Mastery Program to aid you. So let me explain a little bit more. With the extreme fire energy in 2026 itself, as I mentioned earlier, it is best to channel this energy to ignite basically your passion, your potential, as well as the project that you are looking at. For 2027, because it's a yin fire good compared to the yang fire, which is the image of the sun, the yin fire is really about focusing. So it will be focusing, and with the goat element at the bottom, it is important for you then to align. Basically, when you expand in 2026, it's time to basically focus and align in 2027. With these 2 years preparation, then you'll be ready to harvest and thrive in the year 2028. And if you'd like to find out more exactly how you should be doing it for yourself, I've created a personalized Period 9 blueprint for everyone. So it's the first and most essential step on this particular journey. It is a personalized guide for you to understand your unique strengths, opportunities and challenges in this new era. So I'm leaving this particular link here. I will also have this link in the video description. So do click on this link and read up and understand a little bit more on how you can basically ignite in 2026, align in 2027, and thrive in 2028 so that you can master your period 9 journey and master your destiny as well. I'll see you next week where I will share the forecast for those born with the rat and ox within their chart. So I'll see you next week. Goodbye.